This is the DRC Insight Technology training for the Wisconsin Forward exam. This is video 2, DRC Insight Systems Overview. This is the second video out of 4 videos in the Technology Training video series. This video is a very brief overview of the DRC Insight systems, and we will also go through the network traffic diagram. This video is intended for newer technology coordinators. If you are an experienced technology coordinator, it might not be as relevant because it's pretty basic information, but it could still be a good recap for you. There is a document available titled Introduction to DRC Insight Technology that provides guidance for technology coordinators and IT personnel who may be new to DRC Insight online testing software. It guides you through what to look at and what questions to ask about your technology setup, and it's helpful if you're taking over as a technology coordinator from someone else. This slide shows 3 applications or systems that will be accessed by different people or different roles as part of the DRC Insight solution. The first column shows the DRC Insight portal. This is the administrative portal website. Assessment coordinators will use the portal for managing users, participants, and registrations. And test administrators typically don't access the portal, but DACs can give them access if they are going to be printing test tickets or using test monitoring during testing. Technology coordinators also use the DRC Insight portal primarily to access central office services to set up and manage the COS configurations and COS service devices. The second column is the DRC Insight Secure application. This is the testing application that's installed on student testing devices. Students will use the DRC Insight Secure application to access the Wisconsin Forward exam assessment, and they can also access the practice test and student tutorial videos. The practice test and tutorial videos give students the ability to play around and gain familiarity with the different types of questions on the test, as well as the different tools that are available on the test. Technology staff or TAs could also access the DRC Insight portal from a student's testing device or from a sample testing device in order to run the system readiness check, which is recommended to do both before testing as well as on testing days. The third column here is the DRC Insight Wisconsin Forward public portal. This is a site that's publicly accessible. Anybody can access it, including parents as well. It looks exactly the same as what the student will see when they access the DRC Insight Secure application. So they can access the practice test and the online tutorials from here as well. And this is helpful so all roles have a chance to gain an understanding of the structure of the test and the tools ahead of testing day in order to better support students. Now, if your test content is tied to a COS service device, that provides a level of test security because it requires the testing device to be on the same network as the service device in order to launch the forward exam. But it also means the practice test is secured as well. So if students or parents want to access the practice test from home, then they would need to access this public Wisconsin Forward portal instead of trying to access the secure application if they take their testing device home. So now we'll take a closer look at each of the systems that we just went over in the last slide. The first system was the DRC Insight portal, which is the administrative portal. Assessment staff use it to manage users, participants, and registrations. Technology staff use it to manage central office services configurations and complete the technology setup. In the portal, the areas that technology coordinators have access to is central office services and general information. Under General Information, you will find technical documentation and technology readiness resources in the Documents tab, as well as all the installers that you need for DRC software in the Downloads tab. Central Office Services is where you will find your COS configuration dashboard to set up and manage your Central Office Services configurations, including service devices and testing devices. You'll want to bookmark the URL on this slide and make sure you have access to it. If you need access as a new user, you can reach out to your district assessment coordinator for assistance. If you do have an existing account from last year, you can use the same username and password for this year. The second application we discussed was the DRC Insight Secure application that students will access from their testing devices. The DRC Insight Secure application is installed on every testing device. It's a web browser-based test engine and provides a secure testing experience. You install it once, and you can use it for any DRC administered programs. So if you're also administering the WIDA access testing, you don't have to install a separate set of software for the forward exam. You just install our software once and it can be used for any of our assessments. The last application was the DRC Insight Wisconsin Forward public portal, the public site that contains the practice test and the online tutorials. So this looks pretty much identical to the DRC Insight Secure application, except it doesn't have the system readiness check in the top right corner, and it doesn't have the exit button in the lower right corner. But other than that, it's the same, and students can use it to access the practice test and online tutorials at any time. And parents could also use it to access the practice test and tutorials. There's no login required. When you click on online tutorials, you choose from student tutorials or administrator tutorials. So your assessment staff and test administrators will use this site as well in order to access those administrator tutorials that are nested under online tutorials here. This is a reference table for the two software installables, which we also went over in the system requirements video. This shows the Central Office Services software installed on service devices and the DRC Insight Secure application installed on testing devices, their supported operating systems, where to download the installers, and this year's current version number. Central Office Services is version 9, and the DRC Insight Secure applications are version 16. Both of these have user-friendly installation wizards. They don't rely on or depend on any third-party software, and they don't conflict with any software running on the devices. This is a network traffic diagram, and it kind of gives a visualization of how everything works during testing. The COS service device is at the top. To the right, we have DRC and Amazon CloudFront together because DRC uses AWS or CloudFront for our storage. So number 1 here shows that when the COS service device is installed, test content stored on the AWS CloudFront is automatically sent to the COS service device. The content management service automatically checks for new content several times daily and updates the COS service device. When a student starts DRC Insight and launches the secure application, readiness checks are performed, and the test engine software is automatically loaded from the DRC servers to the testing device. The DRC Insight Secure application is not the actual testing interface, it's more of just a shell, and once the secure application is launched, then it downloads the test engine or testing interface, which is about 2 to 3 megs. When the student logs into the test, servers at DRC verify their login, and their test sessions are sent to that specific testing device. Next, the student selects the test session. The test content is delivered from the COS service device because that's where you're hosting the content on the service device if you have one. All of the test content is encrypted for security, and a fair amount of content will come down to the testing devices at this stage. If you don't have a service device or it's not available for testing, then the test content is delivered directly from the DRC servers to the testing devices. The content comes from the Amazon CloudFront over the internet, over your network, and down to the devices. During testing, the student's responses go directly to the DRC servers. After confirmation, the student moves to the next question. The responses get sent back to DRC as a student hits next. It's going to go to DRC, we're going to capture it, verify it, and store it, and then send a signal back to the test engine to say, we've got the response, move the student to the next question. So this kind of answers a question that we get sometimes, which is, how do I know that DRC is capturing the responses? And you'll know that because a student is not going to be able to navigate to the next question if we don't have that response successfully transmitted and stored at DRC. So if they're continuing to progress through the test, it means we are receiving their responses. And that's all for video 2, which was DRC Insight Systems Overview. The next video is video 3, Central Office Services, where we'll go over an overview as well as the testing device and service device installation and management. If you have any questions after watching this video series, please contact the DRC Wisconsin Forward Help Desk, and the contact information is available on this slide.